Question: what does it mean that only the universal Christ mind has self-awareness? Well, I'm not sure I would formulate it exactly that way, but what I have explained in my video about how the world was created is that our world of form was created by one being, the Creator. And before it created any form, it created this universal Christ consciousness. And therefore, everything is created out of that. And the purpose, as I explained, is that the Christ consciousness ties together the Creator and its creation. It's meant to create oneness between the Creator and its creation, and therefore everything in creation is created out of it, including us. So we have been given free will, and the potential for that is we can go into separation, lose our connection to anything outside our own minds, to our Creator. But we can always get it back through the Christ consciousness. But see, because the Christ consciousness is created out of the Creator's being, the Christ consciousness has self-awareness in the sense that it knows that it's out of the Creator. It knows whether something is serving the whole, seeking to enhance the whole, or going into separation and degrading the whole. And the key to our self-awareness is that we are created out of the universal Christ mind, but we have become individualized. So we have self-awareness. But you can say that when you go into duality, you lose self-awareness. And this can seem a little contradictory, because you can take a person who is deeply entrenched in the duality consciousness and believes he or she is a separate person, and they're still going to be what you normally call self-aware. In other words, they're aware that they exist. They can ask themselves certain questions, do I want more power, or do I have enough power? The answer is always yes. You never have enough power if you're in separation. But anyway, you can ask yourself these questions that most people would call self-awareness. But the higher understanding of self-awareness is that you realize you are out of the Christ mind. Therefore, your mind is not a separate self. It doesn't exist independently of the Christ mind. You also realize that the key to overcoming an illusion based on the duality consciousness is to connect to the Christ mind and therefore become self-aware. Because what I've talked about in many videos is we have created these subconscious selves. And we step into the conscious you, which is the core of our being, steps into this self and looks at the world through the filter. And when we're inside a self, we are really not self-aware in the higher sense. But we have the potential to step outside of that self. When we're inside the self, we are identified with the self as a self. We think, I am a separate being. But we have the potential to step outside. We do that by contacting the Christ consciousness. And then we can see, oh, I am not that self. I created that self, but I didn't become it. And that then that empowers you to let go of the illusion that that particular self is based on. And then you rise one step on this ladder of the 144 levels of consciousness. Then when you are at the next level up, you're facing another illusion. And you might be identified with that for a while, still think you are a separate self, but in a different way. And then you can again step outside of that, contact the Christ mind, become self-aware. Oh, I am not that, and you keep going. Basically, you could say you keep going with realizing I am not that, the outer personality, until you get to the point where you have let go of so many of these selves that you can say, oh, I am that, meaning the I am presence. And that is the highest form of self-awareness until we ascend. And then we become one with the I am presence, and everything shifts. Which I don't think we can grasp intellectually what that means until we actually experience it.